Hello folks, welcome back to my plastic shed. So this is going to be the second video I've done in what I'm calling my 10-minute review series. A few months ago I got an email from Innovv. I'm sure you've heard of Innovv. They've been around since I think 2013 and the leader in motorcycle dash cams. They wanted me to try out their third eye blind spot monitoring system, which I said no to because my R1300 GS here already has it, and I didn't think I'd be able to do the video justice. So I said no. Now I will say, if you go and look up GSD321, I think he has reviewed that. So if you are interested in that, he's done a cracking video on that. But anyway, I said no, not because I don't want to work with Innovv, but just because I didn't think I could really do the product proper justice. So while I was away, so I've literally been back a week now, almost a week, from a 2-week trip to the Dolomites with my other half. And while I was away, they emailed me again and asked if I'd like to try out their new tire inflator, the P1, and I said yes. Now I said yes partly because I've already reviewed a tire inflator, the AS Max T10, and this has similar functions, similar size, weight, etc., and I thought that'd be a good idea. And hopefully if this video does all right, they're going to send me the new N2, so the Apple CarPlay Android Auto unit with the optional cameras, which I'm very keen to have a play with and see how it compares to the Chiggy AIO6, which I have on the bike now. Anyway, so if this is of any interest, stick around and we'll get into it. So full disclosure, they did send me this for free, and there will be a couple of discount codes and links down in the video description. One is for Amazon. I think at the moment on Amazon they're running a 20% off promotion on this, but if you go when you go to the checkout, if you paste in my code, it should replace that and give you 25% off. If you order directly from Innovv, use the code TSB, that'll get you 10% off in, I think, the entire Innovv range, regardless of whether it's this. So obviously I do get a small something for that, but just wanted to make that clear. Okay, so let's do a quick unboxing. I absolutely hate doing these because they're never very exciting. So there we go. Everything in the box. The unit itself, a little bag, the actual inflation hose, USB-C to USB-A, and some other adapters. Let's have a play around with it now. Right, okie dokie. Let's breeze through this because at the end of the day, it is a very, very, very straightforward unit to use. Obviously we have USB-A out. It says it can output 5 volts at 2 amps. Now I have already tried this on a full charge. It managed to put 50% battery into my iPad Pro 11-inch, which I'd say is close to the claim 6,000 milliamp hours. I mean, you wouldn't buy it for that reason anyway. It's just a nice to have. And you've obviously got the USB-C in for the charging. Would have been nice if it was just a single port that could accept both in and out, but I suppose I'm nitpicking now. So and we obviously have the light. Now I do notice the light is much larger than the one on the AS Max, which is about the size of the USB-C port, and we have the port for the actual air itself. So let's switch it on, press and hold. Now it obviously defaults to car mode. Now I will say it does make a noise. I'm just going to put it up to the microphone. Now, I was a little bit concerned about that at first, but I spoke to James over at Shiny Side Up Valet, who sells these, and he said that's absolutely normal. Anyway, so the button on the bottom we can use to cycle to motorcycle, to bicycle, and to ball. And if we press and hold the bottom button when we're on any one of these, it will change the units to kilopascals to kilograms per square centimetre, I think that is, back to bar. And we can obviously go up and down and set the required pressure. And when you hit the center button, obviously the unit will start up, and when it reaches the pressure you set, it will stop. And then if we press the SOS button, we get the light, which is pretty bright. And then obviously that goes, if you press it again, it goes to a flashing red light, which is probably quite handy if you're doing this out on a dimly lit road, or trying to get somebody's attention if you're in trouble. And if we press it again, it will flash faster, and then it will go off. So yeah, that is, in fairness, that is the unit. It's obviously made out of metal, which I think will help with the cooling, because these units being so small, a lot of them do have a tendency to get quite hot. So yeah, let's give it a go on the bike and see what's what. Okay, so I hope you can hear me. It's a bit windy. Also, forgive the state of the bike. I've done nearly 2,500 miles on it to Italy and back. I only got back a couple of days ago. I've dropped it to 25 there or thereabouts. I've got a stopwatch. Right, it's on, and then I am, yep, there we are, reading 25. Sorry, get my head out of the way. Right, so we're set for 45. I want 42, and we're going to hit start and go. Well, there we go. Almost exactly the same time as the AS Max. It's not even slightly warm, which the AS Max was. So yeah. Okay, so final thoughts, etc., etc. Would I recommend this? In short, you know, yes. Not because they sent it me for free or because I get a little kickback, but it's a great, you know, unit. It is a bit on the big side, but it's no larger or heavier than the name's gone from my head, the AS Max, that I've been using for a while. That fits in one of the extra bags that I have on my Lone Rider motor bags. So I think this is about 20 grams heavier, probably because of the metal, you know, body. It obviously pumped up. The tire as fast as the AS Max. So reasons I would get this over the AS Max. The metal body. I think when I ran the test with both the Xiaomi and the AS Max, they both got a bit warm, and I think that's because of the plastic alum to shell. Not that it was a problem. The Xiaomi did turn itself off after a while of, you know, heavy use, but I think the cooling on this is definitely going to be improved. I like the fact that the airline, you know, screws in. Initially I was a bit like, oh man, but I have had the one on the AS Max, you know, come loose when you move the unit down onto the floor. Not the end of the world, but I think this is a more secure one, and the light on it, if you're trying to do it at night, is definitely brighter than it is on the AAS Max. So it feels incredibly well made. As I said during the unboxing and features, the only thing I would maybe say to Innovv if they were going to bring out a P2 is some sort of cover over the USB ports, and maybe consider a screw thread on the end to actually put it on to the valve. I'm kind of 50-50 on that one. This one is easier to get on than the AS Max, but I prefer a screw-on type. But horses for courses. Anyway, links down in the description, and as always, thanks for watching.